Welcome. We're glad you joined us now in the practice of the transformation of your mind, in the certainty that through this process of conversion to the light forms that are all around you in this Course in Miracles, you can have continuing experiences that are going to show you a complete alternative. This lesson, if you want to share it with me, is going to be one that contains some, what you might term, meditation. It's going to be an expression that in this time and place, on this video, if you'd like to share it with me, I'm going to attempt to show you how we can take this time and this place and let it be very important in the ideas of the sequentiality of time that we have used previously to define our necessity to exist. You might want to look at the idea that the practice of the mind training of A Course in Miracles is to allow you on a continuing basis, through a momentary vacation of your conceptual self, whatever you thought you brought with you in this time and space, where you can realize a bright alternative that's going to make you very peaceful and very happy. There are millions of you now who are beginning to have a continuing experience of a discovery of a new you, of the Christ in you that has always been present with you, but you've been unable to identify it because you have allowed your old projections of your mind, the constitutions of this world in body form, tell you who you were. And they told you that you were a body. And they told you that you were condemned to this little dark form, this little mud ball surrounding a tiny speck that you call the sun in a vast array of millions of suns and billions of light years of association. And somehow you were confined to the idea of that conceptual thought that you had about yourself based on what the world told you that you were. All of those thoughts in you are now over and gone, aren't they? And suddenly this is a day where perhaps we'll come together, all right, and let it be, and we're going to call this a calendar day. Let it be a day that will be marked in your mind when your progress to the idea of your perfection was accelerated. What a joyous idea that it would be possible for you to do that at this time and in this place. So into his presence would I enter now will be an indication of the admission of your own perfection. Let's go back just for a moment to the lesson of the idea that God is present with us now, and listen to a true description of what you actually are and the responsibility that you are carrying in your own mind as you awaken from this dream of death. Listen. There is a light in you that cannot die, whose presence is so holy that the world is sanctified because of you. All things that live bring gifts to you and offer them in gratitude and gladness at your feet. The scent of flowers is their gift to you. The waves bow down before you, and the trees extend their arms to shield you from the heat and lay their leaves before you on the ground, that you may walk in softness while the wind sinks to a whisper around your holy head. Listen, the light in you is what the universe longs to behold. All living things are still before you, for they recognize who walks with you. The light you carry is their own, and thus they see in you their holiness, saluting you as Savior and as God. Accept their reverence, for it is due to holiness itself, which walks with you, transforming in its gentle light all things into its likeness and its purity. This is the way salvation works. As you step back, the light in you steps forward and encompasses the world. It heralds not the end of sin in punishment and death. In lightness and in laughter is sin gone, because its quaint absurdity is seen. It is a foolish thought, a silly dream, not frightening, ridiculous perhaps, but who would waste an instant in approach to God himself for such a senseless whim? Yet you have wasted many, many years on just this foolish thought. The past is gone with all its fantasies. They keep you bound no longer. The approach to God is near, and in the little interval of doubt that still remains, you may perhaps lose sight of your companion and mistake him for the senseless, ancient dream that now is over. Who walks with you? This question should be asked 1,000 times a day, till certainty has ended doubting and established peace. Today, let doubting cease. God speaks for you in answering your questions with these words. I walk with God in perfect holiness. I light the world. I light my mind and all the minds which God created one with me. So you're lighting the world? Can you accept in a very fundamental idea about yourself that you are the light of the world? That lesson said that you are lighting the world in the conversion of your self-concepts, in a remembrance of the responsibility you have for this world. Okay, can you see that with me? You watch what I'm going to do now. I'm going to scratch my nose right there because you got me so excited about the prospects of the light that is beginning to emanate from our association with each other, that the idea of joy that has become a part of what we are is making it evident that perhaps we should all take a break just for a moment and scratch our noses. Are you with me with this? Ready? Because as we begin to breathe with the joy of the idea of the light that is beginning to come a part of our body ideas, we might be able to accept in a fundamental manner that this lesson is going to say that your body will be sanctified. One of the great lessons within the certainty of the historic Jesus, my Savior, is the idea of the possibility of physical resurrection. It's a notation, since that God represents everything that could ever be and is literally the light of this world. If you will share that light within your own mind, you cannot not have an experience of enlightenment. What does Jesus say about that? He says, if you look at the world with a single eye, rather than the conceptual reference that cause you to be concerned about the splendor in your brother's eye, rather than the beam in your eye that's dividing you up into conceptual objectivity, you can see that in the singleness of that eye is the enlightenment of your body. A little New Testament for you there. And certainly the idea that you can convert your body form on a continuing basis is what this course is, because it's true. You remember with me, at no single moment in all of space-time does your body actually exist at all. It's always undergoing continuing changes, even though you hold it in your past reference in order to define the possibility that that body right there could actually get old. Are you looking at me now? The idea that you oldsters, you ideas of containment of old thought forms that define your body, that somehow all the things that you love are going to leave you. The idea that you're taking these old memories, looking at them in present conditions without allowing the happiness that they actually express to you to be here and now, with the certainty that here and now is the only time there is. So this lesson is going to say, today is a day of quiet reassociations of our mind and recognitions of the progress we have made in the idea of the shortening of this